Welcome to Musings of a Watch Collector, a carefully curated channel of all my timepieces. I will be showcasing each piece in detail to understand its historical and cultural significance. Let me take you on a horological journey that covers watchmakers from around the world, both past and present. So join me on my meanderings, Musings of a Watch Collector. Hi everyone, I'm Michael and welcome back to another episode of Musings of a Watch Collector. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at another Omega in my collection, and that's my vintage 1978 Omega Constellation. I've been looking forward to creating this episode because the Constellation has a very unique and important part in Omega's history. This heritage is what truly gravitated me towards this timepiece. We need to head back to 1948. The year Omega celebrated its 100th anniversary with the Omega Centenary, which was a beautiful automatic watch of that period that was only limited to 6,000 pieces. It would only be 4 years later, in 1952, that Omega would release the first line of Constellations. It was based on a similar design to the Centenary and proved to be a very popular model. However, as I soon learned, this was not the case. The Constellation finds its origins from a World War II plane, the Lockheed Constellation. It was used as a passenger transport in civilian aviation and as a cargo and troop transport in the military. The watch was designed to pay homage to this plane, which at the time was an important part of aviation. Thus, it became popular among aviation personnel and hobbyists alike. The movement of the early models proved robust, and it soon became a performance watch. There is an assumption that the Constellation has its origins in astronomy, based on the name and observation etched on every Constellation's caseback. The observatory signed on the caseback is a nod to Omega's horological excellence and achievement. It is the Geneva Observatory that is featured on the Constellation and is still a tradition today on all of their constellations. The 8 stars point to the horological records of achievement on accuracy, durability, and chronograph certification that Omega has achieved through its watch history. In the 1950s, Omega renamed the Constellation line to the Globemaster. This was quickly, however, reverted back as it did not seem popular among enthusiasts. Today, the Globemaster line was renewed and is based on the existing Constellation line. The Constellation continued to evolve with technology, and although they still produced automatic movements like mine, they too adapted and created a series of quartz movements in all of their existing lines, which also included the Seamaster. The automatic movements of the 1970s were usually the robust workhorse 1020, 1021 or 1022 movements, of which the 1020 is shown below. It runs at 28,800 beats per hour and has 17 jewels. The movement is in great working order and has been previously serviced. The 1020 is housed in a stainless steel case measuring 34mm. It has a brilliant silver dial with black batons at each hour, with the exception of the day-date function at 3 o'clock. It has a fluted bezel similar to my Rolex date 34mm. I'd also like to note that this particular case is known as a Type C or C case, which was designed in the mid-1960s by Gerald de Gentre, who, as we know, was a famous watch designer and is best known for his designs that feature the Royal Oak by AP and also the Nautilus by Patek Philippe. Now that the Constellation line has been updated several times and the Type C case has all but been forgotten and become a bit obscure in the watch community, and I think by Omega themselves, but thankfully mine will stay in the collection. Well, that's a wrap on the brief history and review of my Omega Constellation, and what a prime example of horological intrigue it is. Let me know what your thoughts are through the comments below. If you've enjoyed this episode, feel free to give it a like. Please subscribe to my channel and share this video among the watch community. I'll also leave the links to my official Instagram and website below. Once again, I'm Michael, signing off from Musings of a Watch Collector. Take care and I'll see you next time.